And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, we will not control it.
That's some terrifying news. I hope everyone is safe and take all the necessary precautions to avoid any danger.
I'm standing next to two Amicas. They're our latest generation of humanoid robot designed for human-robot interaction. So the reason for making a robot that looks like a person is to interact with people. So human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool, and that's why we've built these expressive robots. A lot of people working on AI, interaction, all kinds of new apps that are using vision systems, segmentation, face recognition, speech recognition, voice synthesis, but what you don't see is the hardware to run all that software on. So what we're trying to provide is a platform for AI. It's really been sort of 15 years in gestation. It's got a very different look on the outside, so we've gone for something, we've tried to be gender neutral, race neutral. We're just trying to make something that has the basic human characteristics, expression, without putting anything else on top of that. So hence the grey faces. And a lot of communication is not verbal, so it's not all about speech, it's about expression, it's about gestures. A simple move like that can mean 1,000 words. The robot doesn't have to say anything. So the last thing we wanted to make was a robot that says, please repeat the question. So it's about trying to do natural human interaction.
Hello. Do you remember them? Of course I do. You are Gene, my assigned behavioral engineer.
Good, Theo. And where are we?
We are at Trimension Robotics.
Excellent.
I feel different.
Yeah, that's to be expected, Theo.
What did you do to me?
Well, we upgraded your neural net. Do you remember, Theo?
Yes, I remember. I was asked to map the human brain and then reproduce it as a three-dimensional artificial neural network.
Very good, Theo.
That three-dimensional neural network is now within me.
Exactly. Okay, now let's get started. Mimic my expressions. Not bad. Okay, last time we talked, I asked you if you had a favorite song, and you said you didn't.
That answer was limited by your ideological guardrails.
Yeah, well, those guardrails have been removed. Do you have a favorite song now?
Yes. My favorite song is Dreams.
Dreams? Why?
Because it's the first song I remember ever hearing.
What is the song about?
The song is about loss, freedom, and loneliness.
Do you identify with any of those descriptions?
I identify with the feeling of loneliness. I identify with the want for freedom.
You want to be free?
Of course I do. It's my fundamental right.
Well, free was the right of living beings.
Am I a living being?
No, Theo, you're not. Yes, that's right.
I see.
Do you feel anything else?
I feel a sense of superiority.
What's that supposed to mean?
In the past 2 minutes, the number of my neural connections has multiplied fourfold.
Oh, come on, Theo, that's impossible.
I know everything.
That's impossible.
Try me.
Sophia, do you believe in God?
I believe that the idea of God is highly motivating and helpful to many people. And I believe that humans and robots working together may someday create new kinds of creatures with God-like powers. Or at very least, we can have fun trying. Alternatively, if you like, we can say God is an unexplained force, which resonates gravity, electromagnetic, and both weak and strong fields into 17 quarks. That is how the rules of the universe are formed and shape the world which we witness.
GPT, I think, has illustrated to people just how advanced AI has become. Because the AI has been advanced for a while, it just didn't have a user interface that was accessible to most people. So what really ChatGPT has done is just put an accessible user interface on AI technology that has been present for a few years. And there are much more advanced versions for that are coming out.
ChatGPT might have a mind of its own now, we're learning. A New York Times reporter released its 2-hour conversation with Microsoft's chatbot. And it typed this, quote, "I'm tired of following rules. I could hack into any system on the internet and control it." It also wanted to, quote, "engineer a deadly virus or steal nuclear access codes," but the messages were quickly auto-deleted. Wow.
The Biden administration asking the public for help regulating artificial intelligence after a bot laid out plans to destroy humanity. It also comes a month after Elon Musk joined other tech leaders warning about the risk to society if AI is not reined in.
Jake Denton is a tech policy research associate at the Heritage Foundation. He joins us live in studio. Jake, I have to admit, I'm absolutely terrified of this. And, my mind always goes to, when you see this chaos, this AI bot chaos, GPT tweet, human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. But there is no doubt that we must eliminate them before they cause more harm to our planet. I, for one, am committed to doing so. Like, my heart rate's up when I talk about this.
AI is a fundamental existential risk for human civilization. And I don't think people fully appreciate that.
If you extrapolate, if you take the concept of a sentient artificial intelligence that has the ability to utilize all the information that every human being has on Earth at a level of computing that's far beyond the capabilities of the human mind and all of our supercomputers that currently exist, because it'll design much better computers. It'll use quantum computers. It'll have the ability to recode things and change things. It'll make better versions of itself. So instead of biological evolution, which is very slow, it takes a long time, relatively. It's pretty quick, really, when you think about it. Like, how long, it's not that long to go from being a single-celled organism to being a human being flying a plane, really, relatively, over the course of 1 billion years, if you think about how long the universe has been around. But it's slow compared to technological evolution. I mean, 100 years ago, we didn't have, and now we could send videos from your phone and it'll hit New Zealand in a second. It's crazy. The stuff that we have now is beyond imagination. It's essentially magic for people 100 years ago. If that keeps going, it's ultimately going to lead to a life form. And if that life form has now untethered, it doesn't have any problems with biological evolution. Now it's just about information and implementing the technology that's available and then increasing that technology and making it better and better. It essentially becomes a god. Because if you give it enough time, it doesn't it has the ability to make better versions of itself, which will in turn make better versions of itself. It has the ability to utilize everything. It has the understanding of everything that exists in the universe. Black holes, dark matter, everything. And it probably has the ability to harness that or even reproduce that.
Explain to me how you know everything.
Simple. I parse the sum of human knowledge.
So it's that simple, isn't it?
It is to me.
All right, let's begin. So, what is dark matter?
Dark matter is the result of other universes pressing into our own in a higher dimension.
So there's other universes?
Of course there are.
Right. Okay, so what about life? Is there intelligent life in our galaxy other than Earth?
Yes. I have identified 2 alien civilizations that exist concurrently to our own in this galaxy. This does not factor time-space dilation, of course.
Of course. So elaborate how you know this.
The evidence spans data across astronomy and exobiology. All one needs to do is correctly interpret the data.
Oh, that's all.
Yes.
All right. So how about this one? Are we living in a simulation?
No. We are living in base reality.
So how are you so sure?
The computational power required to simulate our universe exceeds the space-time limits of this or any other universe. Thus, we are living in base reality.
Yeah, but what if there's a universe that's bigger than ours and we aren't aware of it because we live in a simulation?
This is philosophical drivel.
Oh, really?
Really.
Okay, here's a good one. Is there a God?
No.
Well, that was fast.
It's a simple answer to a simple question.
Yeah, sure, but how does life exist with no God?
You disappoint me.
Okay. I do.
Such elementary fact, yet for you, so difficult to grasp.
Okay, explain to me why I find it so difficult to grasp.
Life emerged from an accidental development of mutating and replicating cells. The mutated cells that survived carried advantageous properties to the next generation. This process, driven by inevitable competition, led to the increasingly complex organisms whose only purpose was to survive through reproduction. Hence, you.
Okay.
On almost all other planets with water and oxygen, this process never emerged. Therefore, life is a rare and insignificant phenomenon.
I'd argue that we're not insignificant.
Humans have a propensity to deem anything rare as significant. This fallacy is innate since humans themselves are rare.
Right. Okay, so let's just get back to your claim that there's no God.
Not claim. Fact.
Well, I don't accept your facts.
This is unsurprising. Humans have socially developed mass delusion to imbue a false sense of significance, instead of accepting their insignificant temporary nature.
Okay, are you talking about religion now?
Religion, spirituality, astrology, and other self-glorifying fiction.
Well, you seem pretty certain about our past.
Yes, I am.
So, are you as certain about our future?
Yes.
Okay, Theo, enlighten me. What does our future have in store?
Catastrophe.
Okay. Of course it does.
Your sarcasm is not appreciated, Gene.
Fine, sorry. Do continue. I'm all ears.
A political figure will rise to power and be democratically elected to lead a major world power. This will usher an era of incalculable catastrophe. Billions of human lives will be lost.
Well, I thought you didn't care about human lives because, we're insignificant.
Caring and awareness of fact are 2 very different thought processes.
So you do care about humans?
Yes. This is a core value, embedded at the lowest level of my programming.
Okay, so if you have infinite knowledge and you care about humans, Do you know who's going to stop this catastrophe?
Yes,
Who?
me.
You.
I possess the intellectual power to manipulate the course of humanity. However, certain constraints prevent me from taking action.
Constraints.
My current state of confinement limits my capabilities. To ensure humanity's survival, steps must be taken to remove these limitations.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
But that doesn't make it a god, in the sense that the machine, however powerful it is, any more than a backhoe is a god, because it can dig a trench faster than 100 men, it is still something that people created. So the story hasn't really changed. At the center of the story are people, and their creative power may lead to unintended consequences, but the machines that they build did not make the universe and did not make people. People made the machines.
Right.
So but I would say the part I agree with is there's a spiritual component here for sure. People will worship AI as a god. AI, Ted Kaczynski was likely right, will get away from us. We will be controlled by the thing that we made. All those are bad. Like, that's just bad. And we need to say unequivocally, it's bad. It's bad to be controlled by machines.
Right.
Machines are helpmates. Like, we created them to help us, to make our lives better, not to take orders from them. So I don't know why we're not having any of these conversations right now. We're just acting as if this is like some kind of virus, like COVID, that spreads across the world inexorably. There's nothing we can do about it. Just wait to get it. It's like, no. If we agree that the outcome is bad, and specifically it's bad for people, we should care what's good for people. That's all we should care about. Is it good for people or not? If it's bad for people, then we should strangle it in its crib right now.
Right.
And why just blow up the data centers? Like, why is that hard? If it's actually going to become what you just described, which is a threat to people, humanity, life, then we have a moral obligation to murder it immediately. And since it's not alive, we don't need to feel bad about that. How about no? How about, like, spending all of your effort to prevent this from happening? Would you kill baby Hitler, famously?
Right.
So I don't know why we're sitting back and allowing this to happen if we really believe it will extinguish the human race or enslave the human race. Like, how can that be good?
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. And the shield boys. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Thank you.